Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the garden. Today I figured in this video we'll go around the garden and show you all the containers that I've gotten planted. Uh, it has been extremely cold here. I wouldn't say extremely cold. Lows in the mid to upper 40s in our nights and only getting to roughly about upper end of 50s during the day. And we've had so much rain the last few days, it's unbelievable. But now I'm finally being able to get back out in the garden. We'll start getting to a lot of the projects at hand of still finishing to plant. But I figured we walk around and look at the containers. And this one is set right here in front of our greenhouse. And these are two containers that are from DIY Cartel. They are the Corten steel containers. I've had these here for, I want to say 3 years now, and I've done different arrangements in the past, but this year I kind of took some inspiration from Chelsea and a number of pictures that I found on Pinterest of kind of this meadow effect of a garden. This is more geared towards things that hummingbirds really like. So I started off by placing this now butchered back, it got very, very leggy, shrimp plant. This is a standard version. There is some growth here at the bottom I'm debating on removing, but this will put out this really interesting bloom, and I kind of want like a tree in the center of this. So I overwintered this from last year and I decided to put it in here this year. It was frequently visited by the hummingbirds that visit our garden. And then I went in with a grass layer. Now this is Ceslaria. Can't remember the exact name. I'll put it on the screen. I purchased the seed from Gelito's Seeds and it was really easy to grow. It puts out these white blooms during early summer, which I think will add a really nice effect. And then you'll see that swaying motion with all the breeze. So if this is interfering. I then went in with Kufia. This is Vermillionaire. I also went in with Rockin', I don't know. This is the purple version of Rockin' Blue Suede Shoes. I can't remember the name of it, but it's from Proven Winners. I also went in with Bandana Lantana. This is yellow. I had tags. Where were the tags? I'll have to look. We also went in with the 2 extra Homestead Verbena. They're looking a little crappy right now, but once that heat comes back in and we start getting further in the season and I start fertilizing, these are gonna really bush out. And then we repeated it all the same on this side. And then I had a number of seedlings of Cosmos and Nicotianas that I went in here with. So I've got some white Nicotianas that should top out about here and really add into that wild effect. And then this is a shorter Cosmo. I'll put the name on the screen, and it only gets about 2 to 2.5 foot. So I figured it'd be really nice to have some upper, airy wildflower type of effect. I don't know where I'm really going with this. And then I remembered I had just 2 random Silene plants. This is Silene Carmine, another plant I started from seed just to try, and I had 2 whole plants make it, so they went on the outsides. And I think this is gonna look really, really cool once it fills out, and I'll be happy to report back how the hummingbirds like it as well. So let's go to the right of the greenhouse down towards our old fire pit, and we'll start circling the yard and make our way out front as well. So right here in front of our firelight, quick fire hedge of hydrangeas and our parotia, we were sent out from Ball Horticulture a Passion Week combo. So this is a Mix Masters combo. It is 3 plants put together that you put in the middle of a container, and then they're supposed to grow and fill out. So this is a mix of, let's see, we have Angelonia Archangel Cherry Red, Lantana Passion Fruit, and Scavola White Sparkle. So I will try to show you the picture here on the screen of what it's supposed to look like. So I had really no plans to put a container here. So I was looking at this really pretty pot that I had that had a hosta in it last year. And I decided, well, we'll just put a little splash of color over here. And I have a used older container that is kind of falling apart as its base. So it's a nice little punctuation mark here. So you can already see some color coming on from the lantana and the archangel Angelonia here. And then the scavola is right here, which has a really nice dark burgundy foliage. So I think this is gonna be really pretty once it fills out. And then it will complement the yarrow and the other plants that are in this bed as far as color. So out here in our soggy border right now, it is just holding so much water from all the rains. Behind, let's talk about this. This is the honey roasted decadence baptisia coming up. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's done really well. And I actually transplanted this last year to this spot to allow for our driveway to get redone. So I'm happy to see it's quite happy back here, and it's going to be massive in this spot. But in front, I decided to plop this container, and it's a random container of stuff because sometimes you just go out and don't have a plan and you just want to try new things. So I've got 4 plants here in this. The first one is not in bloom just yet, but this is Main Stage Burgundy Sky, and I'll put a picture up of them on screen as we go through. And this container has ants. Wonderful. Ugh. Miserable. Where are they? Okay. The verbena here is a new one to me. It's called Verbena Lascar Black Velvet, and when I got it, it was truly, truly black. So we'll see how that goes through the season. It's looking just like a regular, really dark purple right now. The coleus here in the back is a Talavera Moon Dust. What a name. It's a red coleus here, burgundy, with the spotting in the center. And then we also have, which I didn't have a tag for, shockingly, is Campfire Bidens from Proven Winners. So we have Unknown, I don't know who this grower is. Garden Envy was this one. And then this one is from, I believe this is Selecta. Yes, Selecta plants and then Proven Winners here. So really interesting combo. We'll see how it does. We'll have, this guy will get really big, and then these two will drape and hopefully intermingle with each other over time, and this will fill out any of the ugly centers that just appear. You know, that's why we do the layers that we do. Let's head up that way now. So right here, entering into the patio area in our shade garden, I have these 2 cordon steel containers. I'm not sure where they came from. I got them on Marketplace for free, believe it or not. Some lady was getting rid of them because her husband was mad they were rusting on their nice Timber Tech deck, but I gladly scooped them up. And I did a Proven Winners combo in these. I came across this combo this year when I was looking for inspiration, and it is a black coleus. This, the one they call for is Blackie. This is a different variety. I don't have the tag for it, shocker. It's solar power or something of that nature. Then we went in with the Color Blaze Velveteen Coleus, which is this pinky red variegated foliage. Mizu plant, which is a succulent type plant that gets pink flowers in really hot weather. And then in the center, I grew these poor things and they look dreadful, and they still look dreadful. So I'm not sure if this whole situation is gonna work out. I may have to scrounge and look for a new centerpiece later on. I put 3 of them in here in hopes that one would stick, and it looks like only one is stuck in each one of them. I've had problems with overwatering and underwatering with this plant, but I know once we start getting some heat, these suckers are gonna take off if we can get some heat. like real soon. So really excited to see how this combination is going to come out. This one is in a part sun situation, so it comes in morning sun for like an hour or two. It'll get hit, goes through shade till about, I want to say 3-4 o'clock, and then it gets full sun after that. So we'll see. Fingers crossed this plays out. If not, I think the only thing that's going to fail are these two salvias. So we're going to have to be looking for a new centerpiece. So come up with some ideas. Now, when I did the spring container here, I said this pot wasn't going to stay. And then I happened across a sweet tea gardenia at Lowe's, and I just could not resist. So I ended up purchasing it and was gonna put it in a pot anyway so I could bring it in and out of the greenhouse when winter came. And I decided to put it right here. I kept the pot very simple. I'm not doing anything more than just the gardenia. I contemplated underplanting it with maybe something of a trailing effect. I may, but right now I'm just loving the simplicity. This is a green frost-free container that I got off of Marketplace again. And let me tell you, in the mornings and in the evenings, it is so nice coming out the front door or just passing by, and you just get this waft of fresh gardenias, and it's absolutely amazing. Now this one will get 3 to 5 foot tall and wide in its life, and it blooms on new wood. So as it keeps going and keep going through the season with a good acidic fertilizer, that's key with gardenias, this will just keep pumping out the blooms. You can see some new ones. It's supposed to put out a heavy amount, and I'm sure once this heat comes in, it will. But I love it, and I just love that it's so simple, because this will be a meadow planting on either side of it. So just keeping it a little simple still allows the attention to be for the meadow style gardening when you're walking down the path here. But also invites another layer of scent when I'm curious to see if it smells really good mixed with the clethra smell. So you'll have gardenia and honey smell together. But really like this one. So keeping on with what I thought would be a simple theme, let's go look at the patio containers. Now the patio containers, which are edge right cordon steel containers in a powder coated finish of black, I had just plans on putting in just the U's and calling it a day. Now, I wanted to keep this area simple. I wanted to start creating this room effect. We just moved our sectional up from the fire pit area that we never used, and now we're using the furniture more, which is awesome, and we'll show you that in a different video. But I had no intentions on putting anything out, and Rob specifically asked if we could bed out some colorful annuals in here, and we went with Beacon and Patience. Now these are the orange and magenta ones. I've done this combo before. I like it, but if I was going to do anything, I would have just done white Impatience up here this round, but he insisted on color, and I'm not going to argue. If I can do anything to get him into gardening, I'll do it, but I don't see any hope coming soon. But these are going to look really good, and then once the U's get a little bit taller, I'm probably going to put them to the back of the sectional, maybe just a little bit taller. I don't want it to necessarily bother the back of your neck when you're sitting there or interfere with you being able to lounge, propping your arm up on the back or anything. So these will progressively get bigger. We'll hedge them out, and then eventually we won't have to do any of this color, I assume. But you just never know how some of these containers are going to fill out when you're using hedging. But there's three containers up here we're going to check out, and we have some more to go up front. So we have a set of 3 containers up here, one in front of me, one on the table, and then one right here in the corner. And this one may have to get moved down here onto the right-hand side, as we're gonna put our umbrella up here because we have a pocket in the evening where we get a lot of sun. And it's nice to just be able to block that as needed. But I went in with a blue, I think this is called a blue star fern, which can handle sun or shade apparently. I've had the best luck in shady conditions here in our Zone 6B garden. And then I went in with a white bossa nova cascading begonia. And then I found this, and a piece fell out, which we'll tuck back in there to root, because they really are easy to root. A purple bridal veil tradescantia. Now this is generally in the hanging plant department, and that's where I found it at my local grocery store. And I love the smaller leaf form rather than purple heart, which is a much larger variety. And I think this is gonna look really, really pretty once it fills out. There's some companion plantings that I did around the patio, keeping it in a white and soft feel that would keep it very calming up here when we're entertaining. So this one's real quick, just a blue star fern in a container here. This one I've had for a couple years now, and it's doing really, really well. I am also going to put another container, a taller terracotta container up here with a white variegated spider fern just to complement it. I don't want any extra blooms. I don't really want blooms falling onto our coffee table or extra seating, so I kept it with that, and I think it just makes for a nice, simple centerpiece. So when it came to this container, it was actually not planned at all. It wasn't in my books, but I did want to pot up my Australian tree fern and get it into a better container that I really, really liked. And I have these glazed containers that I picked up from Home Goods a couple years ago, and I have two of them. One of them's in my house with my Schefflera plant in my living room, and then this now holds my Australian tree fern, which I absolutely adore, and I can't wait for it to start finally getting a big trunk on it. We're at about 4 inches of trunk right now since I purchased it, but I just went in with some simple plants. I had some of the variegated spider fern here, a black sweet potato vine, which can handle part shade to shade, part shade to sun. These pink and white fuchsias, these were given to me. I don't necessarily love that color, but it works with the bossa nova begonia there, so I'm not going to complain. We'll put those in there. And then I went in with some wire vine, and then this, I believe this is a crispa. It's the same family as the blue star fern, but it's got this ruffly edge here. And I think it'll look really nice. Once I start lightly fertilizing, this one will get a little bit of a different fertilizer because of the tree fern. I'll go in with a more slow release, non-like synthetic fertilizer, because the tree fern will not like the salt levels. So we'll go something that this can handle and fill out. But I really like the texture combination. I like the more fluffy look of it, and I think it's really, really pretty. It's a little different from what I'm used to, but it's nice to change it up every once in a while. So this is the angle you're gonna get of me, because I'm not gonna step in the flower bed for this one, but if you missed the video that we did planting up our crescent garden self-watering containers, this is how they're looking now. The Kufia has come into bloom, which is really, really nice. That one that was struggling is, from what I can see, it is starting to grow out of the ugliness, and I'm happy about that. But we have even more blooms on the Aromatica, heliotrope, and then we have the Kufia from Proven Winners, the Vibrant Virtuoso Dahlia, which is a purple, and then we put in the Chocolate Drops Coleus, and then the Black Sweet Potato Vine. And this is already becoming one of my favorites. I know I've already said that once, but I'm really excited to see how this combination comes out. It looked really nice online, so I'm hoping it stays true to what it is. But you can watch that video down below. I believe it was actually my last video that I posted of all the plants that are in this, and get some inspiration, and also a GM tour if you're new to that plant. I do want to say what's really sad is I had done videos planting up this container and a number of other containers to post up a video, and unfortunately my audio was not working. I'm still not sure what happened, but I was able to figure it out and it's working now, hopefully. But this one is really cool. This is an older combination from Proven Winners with Black Currant Punch, Calibrachoas. I did, I think 5 of them in here, and then I went in with the black sweet potato vine. And then we kept the Ruby Ruffles, Ruby Ruffles Patio Peach, and it's already producing peaches on it, which is really cool. Now they're not edible, they are strictly ornamental. They're very pitty, with very little skin on them. But I really like this combination. I've wanted to do it for years, and then once I planted this, I was like, well, this is the year I'm gonna do it. I'm finally gonna try out this combination. So they're starting to kind of fill out. I do need to add the slow release. That's one thing I have not done to all of my containers. This one was halfway full when I planted it, and I think it's still halfway full, if not full now, from all of the rain we've got. But I'm gonna go in all of the true drop containers that I have here. I am gonna do the continuous feed on, because a lot of them are in areas that I don't want to keep stepping into flower beds to get to. And they should do really, really well from there. You just saw my cat walking past and yelling at me. So this is a combo that I came up with all by myself, that just kind of happened at the garden store, at the garden center. And it is 3 Proven Winners variety, and then a seed-grown coleus that I started myself, which is candy something, coral candy something. And then in the middle, I went with the Totally Tempted Vivid Violet Kufia, which is really, really pretty. And then around the edges, I went, and then in the center as well, I went in with the coleus, which hopefully will fill out the container a bit more and hopefully can keep up with these guys. But we went in with the Super Bells Double Vintage Coral. This is by far my favorite coral bell out of any that are on the market. I love, love, love the colors in it. So we did have a baby deer in our flower bed, but unbeknownst to me, I forgot to not let our cat out, and he found it and startled it, and it just ran off. Mom is over in that direction in the woods eating, so I know the baby will be fine. I'm not concerned about it, but I did make sure that it made it to safe coverage. And the cat is in the house now, in case Mom decides to put it back out here. And then the last guy, which you can see here, is Verbena Royal Plum Wine. And I think this combination is really, really fun. It's really, really pretty. And I am excited to see how well this grows out in the coming weeks. But so pretty. I just really hope these coleus can keep up with the vigor of everything else in this container. But now that the baby deer's gone, I guess we can walk up to the front of the house and show you those containers. So for this window box, which is outside of our dining room, I was having a lot of trouble with this one because I just was not fully inspired. I had picked up a few plants in order to kind of like get the ball rolling, but nothing was really coming to me. So I did a lot of thinking on this one, left it, came back, left it, came back, and sometimes that's what happens. But I knew I wanted the front door and this window box, which is directly from it, to really be something wild and different. I really had fun with that last year. So I had this palm in the greenhouse that I picked up at the end of the year. I'm not even quite sure what variety this is, but a palm's a palm. I guess you could really substitute it out for any of them. I had a red fuchsia that I had overwintered as well. I had some kalanchoe starts. This is flapjack plant that I had been cutting off of this big plant that I had as well. And then I did pick up some streptocarpella, which you can see here and here. These are Bossa Nova Night Fever begonias. This will be like this bright orange. You can see a little bit of it here. More of the chocolate chip coleus, chocolate drop coleus, which then relates it back to the container adjacent from it. Some wire vine, the black sweet potato vine, except for this is the more rounded bold leaf. And then that's it. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different plants in this, all jammed in. I planted the fuchsia like literally right up against this. Now fuchsia are a actual shrub in their native range. They're not really meant to droop because we over fertilize and the way we train them, they do, like we grow them for hanging baskets, but they are a shrub. And then I'm hoping, even though this is a more shade container, that the kalanchoe will still kind of get a little leggy and fill out and still, you know, announce itself through all of this. So it'll be fun to see how this one comes along. I'm really kind of excited for this one. It's interesting. It's whimsical. It's avant-garde, whatever you want to call it. I call it all avant-garde. I don't care what you think I call it. But it's always fun to do something just really wild in this container and at the front door. And we'll show how it fills out here soon. This one is also going to be on continuous feed. So generally succulents don't like continuous feed, but the local nursery near me does feed on theirs and she gets some really good results. So with the heat coming and such like that, it should not be a problem. But let's look at the front door containers because I think they came out pretty cool, but there's one thing I'm going to add to it. So again, when it came to the front door containers, I was at a loss. I knew I had this climbing asparagus fern that I got from Monrovia last year, just sitting in the greenhouse, just kind of looking to do something with it. It's a really interesting plant, but I don't feel like, for me, it's a plant that I'll overwinter again. It's very aggressive. It grows very, very fast. So the idea is that it'll maybe go up. I'm going to do a different type of trellis, an invisible one, to get it to kind of like go up and around the door. Again, I repeated that fuchsia that I had overwintered. This is the red one. Threw in some of those night fevers again to complement the window box. Some wire vine. Now this is the larger leaf wire vine. That one's a smaller leaf. I didn't know there was a difference, honestly. And then I came in here with this blue Tyrinia because I couldn't find any of the more streptocarpella, but it still relates back with that lighter blue in the center, but then I get a little bit of a difference. And then there's just a little peekaboo of that variegated ivy as well in it. The one thing I do want to go in and add, which I have right inside the door, it's just been, I don't know, I'm protecting it now for some reason when it's been out in the 40-degree weather since. And personally, I'm just too lazy to do it right this second, is I'm gonna come in with a Garden Meister fuchsia, just for some like height. I know the night fever is supposed to somewhat get about like, I think 8 to 10 inches tall, so somewhere around in this general area, but the Garden Meister will bring some height up here to what this is. I like it. I think it's interesting. I've got 2 of the containers going right now, one right beside me, but I would say this is probably my least favorite container if I had to pick any of them. Um, just because I'm not sure how it's gonna look. The vision's there. We'll see. I do have one more container to look at, and it's on the side where our future white moth garden is going. And believe it or not, no whites at all in it. So this container is in kind of a random area right now. Once we kill out the grass and put in our pathway and start filling this out, this will be the future moth nighttime garden pollinator area, but it's also a pass through on the opposite side of our house just so we can freely access the entire property. In here though, we have a new to come out this year. More, I think it's only through Home Depot right now from Ball Horticulture. This is a sample plant that was sent to me, and I have tags. There they are. Oh, I don't. I'll put the name on the screen with a picture of it. It's a new dahlia that's coming out that's bubblegum pink, which is generally not my forte, but it was too pretty to, I love an anemone style dahlia, so I really wanted to try this one. And then I went in with this isn't Lisma, the licorice plant. It's these, like this minty green one. So I expect it to kind of like, I'm gonna say octopus itself through here. And then we have one of the new wave petunias, which is a pink variety with a veining in the center. And this is supposed to get really, really big. And then I came in with this new, to me, Erin, the impatient gardener, says she tried it and she said it was a flop, which that's kind of unfortunate to know now, but it is Lanai Green Apple Verbena. I put 2 of them in here because if she's saying they're a flop, I wanted to make sure I had enough of it to come through this mixture and then be able to keep up and compete with the wave petunia that's in here. So a little bit of a darker pink, a bright pink, and then some lime greens. I think it's kind of fun. Since it's not really my taste as far as a color combination or really just like something that I would personally do myself, I tucked it over here where I don't generally come over here too often, but this is in a self-watering container from Proven Winners. These are the aqua pots, is that what they're called? These were sent to us a while ago. I see I need to do some painting of the container. There's a little chip here, but this is the full system. So you have that watering vessel here with the thing. But yeah, we're gonna see how this one does. It's right on our south side of our house. So this should really get hot during the day and really fill out quite nicely. So I know this isn't your traditional container planting, but I need it somewhere for all of the succulents that I have managed to collect over the couple years. I've got some mangaves, agaves, just regular succulents, some succulent combinations, and then I think are these Peruvian lilies. These will smell amazing once they come into bloom, and then just a few random ones that do need potted up. But this is our old dining table for our patio. It's getting a little worse for wear, but I figured I'll try to get a little longer out of it versus entertaining on it and put all my succulents out on it. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you have gained some inspiration. I've lost track of how many containers I have done this year. I've also got hanging baskets that to do, and I didn't show you those today. I did one of them as a trial just to make sure that everything that I had was going to work. So we will make the last one together and get it hung up in our shady area. If you're looking for some shade hanging basket inspiration, because you haven't planted anything up yet, stay tuned for that because that one's going to be a fun one. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Hey, one last thing. I know we did this affordable container a while ago. It just has not made its way out because the tree that it goes under is a mimosa tree and it is not leafed out yet. So until it does, this guy stays in the greenhouse and we will move it out at a later date and see how it fills in. It's looking a little worse for wear, but um, we'll rehab it. See you guys in the next one. Bye. There's a fucking dead chipmunk over here.